In a previous tutorial, we have seen how we can start to work with generated 3D objects in Title Studio. Now we're going to see how we can work with imported 3D objects. So I have my plain Title Studio filter. Let's just launch the title browser and get rid of the text there. And I'm going to choose my add new shape and go imported model. And I've got my C4D file here, ball, cleverly called because it is in fact a ball. And I'm just going to turn the quality mode down to draft for just a moment so we can start to work a little bit faster. And let's just change the scale down. There we go. I'm changing the scale rather than the position, because if I change the position, obviously it's going to affect the lights that are already in the scene. So if I just change the scale there, that will just make it a little bit smaller. And I'll come in and I'll change the lights up as well. I've got my point light. I'm going to add a second light here. And I'm going to make this a backlight. And let's move this over here somewhere. There we go. So it's just kicking the edge up a little bit there. Great. And with the first light, maybe I'll move that one a little bit over. Make it a bit brighter. Nope. And just move it a little bit further away so it's catching a bit more there. Move that over and up. Cool. So with the 3D imported model, if I open this up a little bit, you can see we've got a link to the imported model and we've got links to the materials on this model itself. So this model only had 2 materials. But if we take a look at this other model, this trainer, you can see that it's got materials for each individual element here. And this is all based off of the main model itself. As we return to the ball here, but what this allows us to do is it allows us to customize elements on here directly within Title Studio. So at the moment, we've got this set to a color. If I turn this to a nice bright green, and let's just turn the ball around, shall we? So come up to the transformations on it. You can even see that when I created the selection on this, I was fairly rough and ready about it anyway, but this will do to show the point. So if I come back down to my second material here, and instead of wanting this to be set to a color, I can come in and I can take in a texture or texture in a bump map and choose an image file. Take an Eagles texture here and come over to my texture modifier and rotate that around 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees, I should say. And I can then shift that up as well. Get that right in there. So now I can transform this around. And if I need to, I can very easily swap out that texture with something else. So I've come over to my texture again. I can actually just swap it down on the timeline, go to image file, instead of eagles, do lions. So as a way of doing versions, this is a very simple way of versioning things up. Obviously, we can still animate this in, and we can also mix this up with other objects, for example, 3D extruded text. Let's play. Make it nice and big. Transform it up. So bring it in front. Here we go. Lovely. Even stick on a deformer over the top of that. There we go. And find a suitable material for it as well. And because these are all sitting in proper 3D space, I'll come over to my position here. As I rotate that around, obviously that's still going to be sitting there nicely. And we could also come into our imported model here and do fun things with the deformers as well, such as having a mesh shatter. So exploding that out. So instead of doing that to the whole layer, what we could do is inside another little 3D container, which I will call ball. So we can split this layer up. So make a duplicate and start this one, or sorry, finish this one here, end this one here, do the mesh shatter just on the second one. Boom. And what's the reason for me putting it into a container in the first place? Well, let's come in and animate this up. So it's spinning round. Now we've got the ball spinning and still spinning as it smashes and deforms and goes out. So you can start to see the flexibility that we have got. And let's just round preview that quickly. So you can see the flexibility that we've got while having all of these little 3D containers and being able to import in 3D objects and have them working with elements that we've created directly within Title Studio. Obviously, it's not a finished effect, far from it. And in fact, I'd probably even go as far as giving it even more explosive force. Boom. Lovely. But you get the idea, and hopefully that will start to trigger some good ideas in your own head. And the fact that we're able to do this directly on our timeline. So we can render and edit and version this effect out again and again without having to go out to a separate 3D application. And of course, on top of this, we've still got the over 200 other BCC filters to start to make this all sing and sparkle. But that's the basic idea of being able to bring in a Cinema 4D object and start to work with it, edit it, and play around with it, all directly within BCC Title Studio.